Hey, what's going on? Today we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting fractions. Now, this skill is a culmination of a lot of other things you've probably been working on up to this point. Things like finding a common denominator, converting from mixed numbers to improper fractions, probably even simplifying fractions too. We ain't reviewing none of those things in this video here today, but lucky for you, there's already Auducation videos on this in the fractions playlist, so check them out if you need a little bit of background information. Otherwise, if you're good, the process is up here at the top of the page. To add or subtract two fractions, convert the fractions so that they have a common denominator, and then just add or subtract the numerators. Let's take a look at a couple examples and get on out of here. Our first example is 3/5 plus 1/8. The common denominator between these two numbers is 40. How am I going to change my fractions? Well, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by whatever it takes to turn my denominator into that 40. So for 5, it's times 8. And for our 8th fraction over here, 8 times 5 in the top and the bottom. Now we just multiply and then we'll add across the top. 3 times 8 is 24. 5 times 8, of course, is 40. And then our 1 times 5 is 5, and 8 times 5 again is 40. So we are going to add across the top. 24 and 5 together gives us 29, and our denominator stays the same at 40. This is our final, most simplified answer. You can take my word on that one. Alright, our next problem is going to have a mixed number thrown in there. We got 6 1/3 minus 2/5. Before I can do anything, I want to change this mixed number to an improper fraction. I'll do that by doing 6 times 3 and then adding it to the 1. 6 times 3 is 18 and 1 is 19. Over 3 gives me the improper fraction equivalent to 6 1/3. Now that we got two regular fractions here, we need to find a common denominator between 3 and 5. This time it's going to be 15. To turn 3 into 15 with multiplication, I times by 5. So I do that in the top and the bottom. And for my other fraction, 5 times 3 is going to give me 15. So top and the bottom times 3. We'll multiply it and we'll add across and then we'll have our final answer. 19 times 5 is 95, 3 times 5 is 15, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 5 is 15 again. 95 minus 6 is going to give me 89 over 15, and this is my final answer here. Note we got ourselves an improper fraction. We can turn this into a mixed number by dividing the top by the bottom. So 15 goes into 89 5 times with a remainder of 14. So our mixed number version is 5 and 14/15. Both of these are valid answers. Let's do one more here. We got 8 plus 4/9, a whole number plus a fraction. Ready for this one here? We're going to take our whole number seen here, 8, times it by the denominator 9, and then add that to our 4. This is the same process as if we're trying to turn a mixed number into an improper fraction. 8 times 9 is 72 and 4 is 76. This is our answer. Like before, we can turn our improper fraction to a mixed number. 9 goes into 76 8 times with a remainder of 4, so 8 and 4/9. Makes a little too much sense there, am I right? Right, so in this last example here, the process of adding a whole number to a fraction is essentially the same thing as converting a mixed number into an improper fraction, like I said. This worked out pretty good here because we were doing addition, but if we were doing subtraction, like 8 minus 4/9, we would have gotten a different answer. You could do basically the same process if it was subtraction. We would just do 8 times 9, and then we would take 4 away from the 72. Or if you need something with a little more structure, 8 is the same as 8 over 1, so you could turn that whole number into a fraction, find a common denominator, and subtract like normal. Fear not, all these problems are pretty easy. All you gotta do is find yourself your common denominator, convert your fractions, and then add or subtract across the top. That's it. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Also, you only ever need a common denominator if you're adding or subtracting. Listen to me. Don't try and get a common denominator if you're multiplying or dividing. Alright? Don't do it. I will turn this metaphorical car around. Alright folks, go practice now. I got better things to do in my life. Later.